Marriage involves the fusion of individuals and families. Knowledge of the background of an individual as well as the level of influence his or her environment has had on his or her perception of life is very important when planning marriage. These issues, if not ironed out thoroughly before marriage, could be the source of unnecessary arguments and discord. Welcome to my podcast. My name is Omobola Stephen. I'm a life and relationship blogger. Now I want to talk about looking at the background differences when you're considering marriage. Stay with me. Welcome back. Now let's look at these questions. Number 1, am I from a broken home or a united home? Your experiences on the home front will come into play in your marriage. The person you must marry, therefore, must be someone who knows where you come from. Number 2, were my parents leaders in any way, that is politically or in the field of individual? If either or both of your parents were leaders, you're bound to have leadership qualities. But even if it is the other way around, be sure that your intended spouse accepts you in this manner. Also, you need to be certain you don't present any form of threat to him or her. The next thing we need to look at is, do you have a God-fearing parent? Being raised in a family with parents who delight in the things of God will definitely have imparted some Christian tenets to you. How comfortable are you with your intended spouse concerning this? You need to think about that. How did my father treat his wife and children? There's an African adage that says, when the nanny goes chewing green leaves, the kids watches them out. Chances are that you will have picked some of your father's habits. If this will not be complementary to your marriage, you need to purge yourself of such habits. If not, you're going to be disturbing in your marriages. Next up, was my mother very dependent or independent-minded? If a woman's mother was very dependent on her father, this may have rubbed off on her. Or the reverse may be true if she was independent-minded. Be sure that the man you entrust your life to is comfortable with the way you are to avoid frustration in marriage. Let's go on a break. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Next up to our question is, how much of my past does my intended spouse know about? If there are things about your past that your intended spouse should know to help him or her decide whether or not the two of you should get married, hiding these facts from him or her, especially if they are unpleasant, could be detrimental to your marriage. Now you need to watch out. By the time he or she discovers these things on his or her own, you stand the chance of being rejected, and that doesn't feel good at all. Do I know all I need to know about my intended's future? It is important for you to know the total man or woman. In case you're wondering how to know what his or her future looks like, subtract the past from the present and you will get the future. I'm thinking. In other words, look at the present situation, then look at the past to see how he or she got to where he or she is today. If you bear this in mind really, it should be clear to see where he or she is going. Beyond this, you can ask questions about personal visions and dreams. Add this to what you consider his or her potential to be, and you will get a good idea of your intended spouse's future. Now, if you're not happy with your discovery, then this person may be or may not be your life partner. I beg your pardon. Next up is, how much of my intended spouse's past am I willing to accept and put behind me? When you know everything you need to know about your partner's past, look at it critically and see if you can really live with what you know without getting hurt emotionally or hurting him or her by recalling those episodes from his or her past from time to time. If you cannot, then it may not be wise to venture into marriage. Next, what kind of reputation does he or she have? All people really have a blind self, that is, the part of their character that they themselves are unaware of. So, it is important to take note of what people say about your intended. For when your heart is on fire, smoke gets into your eyes. Think about that. Now we'll look at what are my holiday customs. How do you think holidays should be spent? Are you the sort of person who is not bothered about holidays? Is it business as usual for you? Or are you the kind of person that will take time off regularly to relax and let off steam quietly at home? Do you like going on holiday trips, perhaps to an exotic part of the world? Or could you do with a change of environment from time to time? Find out what your partner's holiday customs are, as this will help you avoid frustrations in the future. Also, you need to look at this. Do we have different family values? There must be some things your family holds dear. For instance, some families like coming together for particular occasions. Some have a particular way of naming their children. Other families think that it is abhorrent to eat a certain kind of food or meat. You must discuss this with your partner to avoid a clash of values in future. Next up, have I or my partner been in a marriage relationship before? Now that's a good one. Having gone through a divorce may make a person more susceptible, to divorce again, because he or she may be less tolerant of difficulties the second time around. There's also the possibility that the divorced person is not suitable for marriage. Perhaps he or she runs from the problems instead of facing them squarely and attempting to find a solution. Who knows? The bitter truth is, should serious problems arise in this marriage, this type of person will likely seek divorce again. Now, when considering marriage to a divorced person, one should contemplate how much he or she has learned from the failure of his or her marriage in the past. Because those who have failed once in the past should learn from experience and pinpoint areas that demand improvement. It is really possible to learn through bitter experience how to make a better choice the second time around and work more effectively at building a successful relationship at the long run. Next up, are we from the same race or tribe? Though the world has become a global village where people now relate with each other on the basis of personal merit rather than ancestral origins, interracial or intertribal marriage still raises important issues. It often means breaking with one's own family and social patterns. Why would an individual choose to marry someone of a different race and cultural background from his or her own? Now I'm thinking, why choose to risk the criticism of family and friends by marrying outside one's racial group? That's cheap. A simple answer is that love knows no barriers and doesn't recognize color or creed. Other factors also influence the final decision. Is one or both partners idealistic and willing to risk personal discomfort or ostracism to demonstrate the freedom and individuality in which they believe? Could they be rebelling against parents, friends, church, or social control? Most likely, a couple from different social, cultural, and educational backgrounds will also have widely differing values. The things important to one partner may not seem important to the other. Now that's true. In an interracial marriage, for example, at least one partner is usually ignorant of the other's cultural values until after the wedding, because they meet and relate in the country of only one of them. This causes serious problems. Now, any couple, but especially an interracial couple, should discuss values carefully and thoughtfully prior to marriage. Also, the children needs to be considered. Can a child born to racially different parents have a normal and emotionally healthy childhood? Will there be adequate occasion for friendship and interaction with other children of both cultures? When the child has reached dating age, will he or she be able to have a normal dating relationship with one or the other race? Will the child have adequate educational opportunities? There are no simple answers to these questions, and any couple that's considering interracial marriage should consider these conditions very, very carefully. Next, we'll look at: do I know everything I need to know about my partner's health and medical history? Be sure that you're informed of everything you need to know about your partner's medical records. Does he or she have any hereditary disease? Does he or she have any allergies or terminal illness? How does he or she react to seasonal or endemic diseases or ailments? Or perhaps you should have this knowledge before you tie the knot. Thank you for hanging with me on this podcast. I hope you have been able to learn one or two things about having a proper knowledge or really considering the background differences of your partner when you're considering marriage. You can visit my blog site on www.youmattertolife.com. On that, I share useful and helpful tips about life and relationship you can learn on the go and have a worthwhile time. It's bye for now.